y'all, so let's do the fiber seed, and it is WIP Wednesday, where I share what I've been working on. I've been gone away for a week, so, well, not a week. It's been 2 weeks, so I've been off a week. There we go, that's what I was trying to say. Anyway, let's get started. First up, am I going to show you some WIPs for WIP Wednesday? No, I'm going to show you finished stuff because it would have been a WIP last week, but I finished it between now and then. So, what do I have? Let me show you. Get my ribbon candy hat. I put a pom on it. Yeah? Check it out. Pom. I like it. I use Sprout DK for this. It's the ribbon candy hat by Whitney Terrell. I use Smoke, and then this is Heartthrob. And then I used Heartthrob for the pom. I have come to the realization that I cannot pom as well as my grandmother did. Like, there's hats around the house that we have that were made by her. The poms are on point. They are full, fluffy, and perfect. I don't get that with mine. They look cute in a quirky sort of way. So I guess, which is my MO. And they're uneven. I don't know. I sat there and tried to trim it. I'm like, if I don't stop, I'm going to like trim it down to a little nub. So anyway, but I have a pom and it looks cute, so we're done with that. What else did I do? When I went to the Carolina Fiber Fest a couple weeks ago, I got the opportunity to visit some family just north of Raleigh. And anyway, when I was there, I got to see my octogenarian cousin. So he's my dad's cousin. And his mom was my grandmother's sister. Little history. But both of them loved handcrafts. And he has an appreciation for it because he got to watch that stuff when he was growing up. Anyway, he saw Jordan's Houday hat because we were showing him what we do because he's not seen me in a long time. So I've become an adult since the last time he saw me and have a career and all that stuff. And anyway, we showed him the hat. He was so excited. He was like, this is great. Y'all do a great job. He's like, I'd love a hat like that. And he's by himself now. And he goes, I'd love it in black. I'd wear it all the time. And I'm like, black yarn. He goes, and I'd pay you for it. And I'm like, you're not paying me for it. But the fact that you offered and the fact that you like it, you're getting a hat made in black yarn. And so I made him a hat. And so I'm going to send this to him. And I hope he enjoys it. I know he will. But yeah, it made my heart sing when he was like, I would love a hat. Because when you're a maker, y'all watching this knows, when you're a maker, that makes a difference. It's not that they're like, oh, thanks for making that. Like when they're like, this is so cool, could I have one? That excites you. So anyway, made in the hat. I used an Ann Norling pattern. I used Sprout DK. And it knit up in like a day. But then y'all know I can knit up a hat in a day when I'm pressed for time. Anyway, so that was that. That was a WIP last week. And then it wasn't. And then I made and finished Penelope's pair of socks. Y'all, look, I have a pair of socks. A pair of socks within a week. I did use Sprout DK. So, and it's kids' socks that, like, my foot is this long. So, what? Anyway, I finished them. I used Sprout DK. I used an Ann Norling pattern. And Penelope picked these out because these are her socks. And she picked Penelope and then one of Reese's colorways, Polka Dot Alligator. So I made her socks. Kids' feet are weird. They're bigger than they are long. Anyway, it all works out in the end. But I had to try them on when I was like, yeah, I'm like almost done. And then I tried them on Penelope's feet and I realized, oh, I knit this too far and I had to rip back. So I have a pair of socks and I tore out half of it. Anyway, I knit it to like right here. So then I was like, wait a second, hold on. I did double duty here, okay? I put them on Reese's foot and I looked at it and I'm like, and I wrote down all my instruction, like not my instructions, but I followed an Ann Norling pattern, but I wrote down my specifics to where I had gotten at that point and I'm like, this also fits Reese. Now I've got instructions for his foot. So Reese is going to pick out his colorways that he wants to use for his socks, and then I will make him a pair so he has his first hand knit pair of socks from me. So, socks done. Now on to actual WIPs. I know I took half of the WIP Wednesday, but whatever. I am knitting a Rexy sweater by Maison Dene for Penelope. If you've been following for a while, I knit one for my niece Amelia, and they're of the age where it's super cute to see them wearing matching clothes, right? So I'm knitting Penelope one in a size 6, and she picked out most of the stitch markers. So there's a lot of Ann Tudor stitch markers hanging on this thing. It's very, I'm not going to say it's loud, but it's, you can tell what I'm working on when I'm working on it. But I'm excited. It's in Sprout Sock and Amelia Besprinkled. So there's just little flecks of pewter intermittently on here. So it kind of gives it a little extra, you know, something visually. I'm excited about that. I've gotten through the shoulder shaping so that you can see there's a visual difference between back and front. If I don't normally have that in a sweater, what I'll do is I'll take a little piece of yarn at the end and I'll kind of weave it into the back of the neck so I can see the ends. I mean, you could always use a tag, you know, that says this is the back or something. That's just too easy though. So, anyway, what else? What else have I been working on? Well, Friday is the first of the month, so we got a color of the month coming, right? Did I finish the swatch of Front Porch? Because that is the color, okay, of the month. So it was inspired by a picture I took many years ago. And I walked up the stairs and realized that I had a thought, and I realized something because I was humming a song that also went along with it without realizing it. So I'll explain that more later, like I always say. And anyway, this turns into this. So this is the swatch. The color, the lighting is not doing this dusty. It's like a dusty rose. I'm calling it desert rose. So anyway, it's not doing it justice. But there's a pale gray in there. There's a really light blue in there, which is also new. And then there's greens, and there's little speckles in there for flowers of spring. And anyway, because I made 2 new colors to go with it, because I really wanted to just get this picture right, because I made the picture and I'm also making the yarn. I made 2 new colors. So this is Front Porch. This is Betty Blue. So it's an earthy blue. It's just got the lightest touch of green, not to be confused with teal, but the lightest touch of green, so it gives that real sky blue effect. So that's that. And then this is Desert Rose. And it is earthy pink. It's got that little bit of brown to it, but it's a pink. When you put it next to a brown, you're like, oh, that is a pink. So those are the colors that I made to go with Front Porch, along with some other ones we have normally in stock. So that is WIP Wednesday. The update for Front Porch will be this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Gotta remember to say daylight now, not standard. Still reeling from that jump in time. If you are, you know. If you have kids, you really know. Anyway, that is WIP Wednesday for the past 2 Wednesdays. And until next time, happy crafting.